Hey, how's it going, fellas? Now, before we go any further, I just want to start off by saying Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to you, your families, and your loved ones. I want to wish you all the best, of course, because it's the holiday spirit. You know, it's a time for joy and for celebration, to be with the people you're close to, who support you. And for me, that absolutely has to include all of you. Whether you've subscribed to the channel, supporting me in the content that I do, whether this is the first video you've ever seen from my channel, in which case welcome, whether you've seen a bunch of my videos and you have yet to subscribe, in which case please reconsider subscribing. But I mean, regardless, you have all been a part of this journey with me, you know, providing your support, your wisdom, your insight, your experience, your advice, everything, and I can't thank you all enough. There's no words to describe the level of gratitude that I feel for all of you being a part of this journey with me. Obviously, there is still a lot left ahead of us. There's a lot of goals and a lot of things to hopefully achieve in 2025. But yeah, I can't thank you all enough, other than just saying, you know, happy holidays, wishing you all the best, of course, and thank you all so much for the support you've provided me so far this year. Now, coming back to the topic of the vid, in case you guys may have missed it, yesterday morning we received a producer's letter from Dokkan, pretty much the final one for this year, and as you would expect, it was filled to the brim with information, most of which is related to the end of the year with our final dual Dokkan Fest banner of 2024. So, today, what I want to go ahead and do is I want to break down the producer's letter, talk about all of the important information with you guys, because honestly, there is just so much to talk about. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and dive right into this. And the first thing we actually have to talk about is the theme. So what is going to be the theme for our final banner for 2024? Well, if you guys saw my speculation vid, which I posted yesterday in like the middle of the night, I had three different kinds of ideas in mind. One was Cell Saga, another was GT, but the third one that I was really leaning towards was Dragon Ball DAIMA, and lo and behold, Dragon Ball DAIMA is indeed going to be the theme for our final banner for this year. And if you ask me honestly, this is the perfect choice. From a development team perspective, from a player base perspective, this is the best choice they could have picked for a theme for the final banner of this year, and of course also the final banner before we go into the 10th anniversary. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm a happy man, and of course this means we're going to get a lot more DAIMA related content, which is something we've all been waiting to see. This is one such example right here with a new story event. So you see right here, we are getting a story event which is going to follow the story of DAIMA, at least up to what we know. We're going to have an opportunity to recruit the SR Goku DAIMA, who I believe is in the game already, but this is just another way to acquire him, so that'll be pretty fun, of course. Besides that though, we have some other stuff as well. So we also have a special kind of limited event right here. You see, one per day. So this is an opportunity for us to get skill orbs for the demonic power category, and I have to recommend that everyone gets this event done as much as possible, obviously once per day. We have to all get this done, because regardless of where your demonic power category stands, this category is just so powerful. I mean, you see, of course, Lord Slug, he's a fantastic leader for the category, but also what really makes this category so dominant, in my opinion, maybe a bit underrated in some ways, is the fact that all of the Gohans are here, right? You're seeing Kid Gohan, you're seeing Future Gohan, Beast Gohan, Ultimate Gohan, Super Saiyan Carnival LR Gohan, Namek Gohan, Beastless Gohan, Cell Saga Gohan. I mean, there's just all sorts of Gohans, Bojack Gohan. Besides them, of course, you have Piccolo, you have Babidi, you have Bootanks, Buhan, Fu. So this category has a lot of powerful choices, really headlined by, you know, the Gohans. And regardless of whether or not you have all of the really premier, really powerful units right now, this is definitely a category that you want to take advantage of when it comes to doing this event and having the skill orbs ready when you do have a really powerful kind of category to pick and choose from in that sort of regard for the units. So that's something I really do recommend. We also have another challenge event here, so this one will also give us an opportunity to get skill orbs. However, I believe these ones are more so tailored to the special new units that we can look forward to seeing in just a day or so now. So this is going to be more so related to those new kind of releases. But that's the main kind of content we have going on. So obviously not too crazy. We could get some more stuff for sure, maybe in the near future. But for right now, this is what we know up to this point so far. So we'll have to just kind of roll with this and see what else we may go in the very near future as we go through the new year, going into 2025, and of course as we approach the 10th anniversary with all the hype that goes on there. Now, the other thing we have to actually talk about, which is of course the most important thing I would say, is who are going to be the dual Dokkan Fest headliners for our final banner for 2024. Obviously, you know, where it's the whole DAIMA theme, so we have an idea of what they could do for DAIMA because there's only been so many great characters they can pick and choose from, and I think based off that logic, it kind of makes sense who they go with. But the people we're going to be seeing for our dual Dokkan Fest headliners are right here with the Super Saiyan Goku and Glorios. So I mean, if you ask me again, you know, we talked about Daima being the perfect theme, in my opinion, for this kind of choice. These two are also the perfect choices, in my opinion, when it comes to Daima, because, yes, some people could say, like, oh, Tamagami number 3 could be the choice, but Glorio, I think people resonate with him more, of course, and obviously Goku is Goku. I don't think anyone was going to be excited if we got, like, you know, a Dokkan Fest Shin. I don't think anyone was going to look for that, but I think these two are a perfect choice. Obviously, we'll look at the kits and the animations in just a sec, but as you see right here, both are Transcendent URs, they're not LRs. Both are super class types, and also Goku, he's an int type unit, Glorio a physical type unit, so that is just a bit of the information that we need to know so far. Obviously, again, we'll look at the kits in just a second, but I believe next we have the animation. So yeah, let's go ahead, we'll check out the animations, and then we'll go on and look at the kits right after. So let's go ahead and check all that out.
Here you go.
Obviously, we're starting off, this is the intro, by the way, for Daima Goku, which I must say, this looks, I mean, come on now. Look at the way the aura is flowing. Look at all this, man. Come on. This is awesome. This is really, really sick. And this part I'm a real big sucker for. I'm a sucker when they do something with the eyes, the way that transitions. I'm a big sucker for that sort of stuff. The smile, the hair flow, everything. It looks so clean for the intro. 12 key for Goku. It is in the Japanese translation, as you see right down there. But this is going to have English translations in just a few short moments. But yeah, 12 key looking really nice. Of course, using the power pole to its peak. And the impact there is really kind of nice. Obviously, this, I believe, is at 1x speed. But yeah, look at this. Let me just embrace this for a sec. Oh my god, that is so sick, y'all. This is peak animation for me. This is one of the best animated super tags, active skills, whatever. This is beautiful. Look at that. Look at this. This is amazing. We're still not done, because now we have Gloria. And you kind of hear the theme going. Obviously, this is Glorio's intro right here. A bit of that kind of weird, like, evil-esque theme to it, but not really. More so like a demonic undertone, kind of. The boy showing up, just announcing his presence, all the fans. I'm not a big fan of this specific kind of posture, but I wish it was more of a close-up, but it's fine. 12 key, though. Let's see what we got here. So, yeah, this is clean. This is really clean. The lighting effect. Look at that shot. That shot with the lighting, that is insane. Nice impact right there. Now we got the active. The 12 key could have been a bit better compared to Goku's, but, I mean, it's still pretty sick in my opinion. Look at this, though. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that is so sick. This is what you want for the end of the year. This is what you want for the New Year's banner. That is clean. I wish there was a bit more effect at the end there for Glorio, but, I mean, guys, guys, if you have not seen Dragon Ball Daima up to this point, if you've been holding out on yourself, you need to reconsider. You need to watch Daima, if nothing else, just to appreciate some sexy animations, because these, if Daima was not as well animated as it is in terms of the show itself, you would not see these really great animations and everything for these characters right here. Let me just put it for what it is. It would take a lot of work from the development team, but, you know, Daima, being how good it's animated and everything, you know, they have a lot of great things to pick and choose from. So this is awesome. You guys definitely need to check out Daima if you guys have not seen it, just in terms of animation alone. This is so sick. I am fan geeking out right now. I don't know if that's the right word. You know what I mean to say. I'm just going all crazy right now. But okay, so we talked about the animations, or at least we looked at the animations. Now, we do have to focus on the kits. That's the important thing with any unit. So we're going to start off with Super Saiyan Goku. So Super Saiyan Goku Mini Daima. So obviously a bit of a complicated name right there. That is kind of helpful, though, in the sense that that does mean his kind of ability to link with other Super Saiyan Gokus is going to be pretty real. It's going to be fine. It's not going to be an issue, really, unless we get a huge, like a crazy release of a bunch of Super Saiyan Goku Mini Daimas. Like, that's going to be a really unlikely thing. So this is going to be pretty fine in terms of the name type of system right here. For the leader skill, right, battle for the Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm, which also is the same name for, like, his kind of unit, I guess, but regardless. So for the leader skill, transformation boost or Dragon Ball Seekers category, key +3, HP attack and defense 170%, plus the extra 30% for characters in Pure Saiyans or accelerated battle. Now, I must admit, this is kind of something where I'm looking at it, I'm like questioning if this is a good leader skill, but then as I think back to it more and more, this is really a good leader skill because, I mean, transformation boost is a pretty nice, powerful category. I could actually pull up the category right now if I can find it. I believe it's, there it is, right there. So transformation boost, if we look at that, of course, you know, you see Carnival LR Jiren, the Int Carnival, or not the Int Carnival Broly, but the Dokkan Fest Worldwide Celebration Broly, Carnival LR Broly right there, Gogeta, Tech UI. This category specifically is filled with powers. Of course, you see Butex, Janemba, obviously the 7th year LR gods, who are going to get an EZA very soon during the 10th anniversary. So this category is very powerful. Dragon Ball Seekers, if we go ahead and look at that, let me see if I can find that. I know it's going to be here somewhere. There it is. So Seekers are the Dragon Balls, or Dragon Ball Seekers. That one is a bit weaker, I would say, for sure. Obviously, you know, the category has like a weird listing of, like a weird mishmash of characters. But Goku kind of bringing this category back, in a sense, I'm actually perfectly fine with it. Obviously, it's going to be weird to build a team of Dragon Ball Seekers, but, you know, at the same time, there are some really good units in there. You just have to kind of pair them up. So I think Goku's going to be a pretty nice leader in that sort of respect. Obviously, it's great to have Dragon Ball Seekers get some more value in that sort of regard. Also, the 30%, you know, is pretty easy to access. Pure Saiyans, which is an easy category. Accelerated Battle, that's going to be pretty fantastic. So no complaints from me. I wish the category could have been a bit better in terms of the leader skill choices, but it's fine. For the super attack effect, this is some pretty cool stuff right here. Greatly raises attack and defense for 3 turns, causes immense damage to the enemy, and raises allies' attacks by 41% for 2 turns other than himself. So basically, he's a support, right? He's a support, a massive support in that regard, and this is only on his 12 key super, which if you get additionals for him, that means he could do some pretty nasty support in terms of boosting the allies' attack potential, making the others do crazy damage output, which honestly is something we would love to see. Obviously, there's crazy numbers in Dokkan already, but this can make things even better, so that's something I really do love. The 3 turns for the greatly raising attack and defense also, it's pretty good. It's not, you know, stacking, of course, but also it's not just for 1 turn, it's for multiple turns, which means Goku could do some pretty great work himself, which is something we want to see for the final units for 2024. So that's going to be perfect, of course. We keep going, we can find the passive skill. So this is a pretty long passive skill, but it has some very consistent themes to it, which is something we really love to see. Obviously, we see the intro right here, so no condition on this intro skill, just once the character arrives for the first turn. Reduces damage received by 20% and increases chance of evading an enemy's attack by 20% for 1 turn from the character's entry. So these 2 effects are only for the first turn, which is kind of unfortunate that it doesn't last longer. But, you know, it's still what it is. It's perfectly fine. I would say it doesn't really make Goku or break Goku in terms of his value. But yeah, that's nice to have, of course, that 20% damage reduction and the extra 20% chance to dodge. Beyond that, you know, we see Ki +3, attack and defense plus 200%, so that's a pretty good passive skill for a Dokkan Fest right there. Reduces damage received by 30%, so that's flat out right there. Plus the first turn, that's 50% right there, just in general for that first turn, then 30% regardless. High chance of evading an enemy's attack, you know, so that's 50% chance to dodge. Plus an additional defense plus 100% and increasing the chance of evading an enemy's attack plus 20% as the first or second slot unit in a turn. So basically, this is a 70% chance to dodge, which becomes a 90% chance to dodge at the highest potential if you have that first turn show up and everything. So that is some really nice dodgeability right there, if that's the right word to say right there. Plus an additional attack plus 100% and launches an additional attack that's a high chance to become a super as the second slot unit in a turn. Plus an additional defense plus 200% when receiving an attack, so that's not when you dodge an attack, but that's when you tank an attack, right? Plus an additional attack plus 50% up to 200% with each attack received or evaded, including the super. And starting from the character's next attacking turn after the character evades the 5th attack in battle, or starting from the 6th turn from the character's entry turn, plus an additional attack plus 159%, and attacks are effective against all types. So when it comes to Goku, this kit is very powerful. I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again. It's very consistent in terms of the themes that it tries to propose or try to push out there. One of which is that he is meant to be a dodge character, right? He has the in typing, so with the hidden potential, he has built-in free-to-play dodge right there. On top of that, you know, 50 to 70% chance to dodge right there, plus the extra 20% for that first turn. So he has a lot of dodge ability. He has a bit of damage reduction just in case you can't dodge, which is also what you want because that extra tank ability will help when you get this extra 200% defense in a turn potentially. So that is going to be very important. He's boosting his attack every time he's kind of going through his motions, tanking or dodging preferably. Obviously, you know, as the fight goes on, he becomes even more stronger with his attacks, so that's really awesome. If we harken back to his super attack effect, he's boosting his attack and defense for 3 turns, and he's being a support, so all of this is very important. You know, in the second slot, this is what I would say is his best position, because in the second slot, he is still retaining this part of his passive, where he's getting the high chance to dodge and everything, or rather the high chances on its own already, but rather he's getting the additional 100% to defense and the extra 20% chance to dodge in the first or second slot. On top of that, in the second slot specifically, he's also boosting his attack and getting a chance to do another super, which means he could do more support and boost himself even more. So Goku is a very powerful unit. In terms of the damage output, I have to think about this because it's 200% right there, plus another 100 right there, if I can do the math. So 200 right there, plus 100, that's 500 right there. So that could be, I think, 659% attack in terms of what he can be capable of, which is really crazy in terms of his passive skill stat boost right there. So that is something really do love to see. With his defense, it's not going to be as high, right? It's like 200 right there, plus 100%, so 300 up to 500% potentially if he receives an attack. So not as high as the attack percentage, but that is perfectly acceptable when you consider the fact that, you know, Goku isn't entirely meant to tank, he's also meant to dodge. So this unit is a beast. He is a beast, and I love to see what he is capable of. I'm actually excited to see what he can do in game, because this is a very crazy passive skill for sure. If we keep going, we should see the active skill. There it is, way down the line. So this is the active skill, Super Kamehameha, which we saw in all of its magnificent glory right there. Massively raises attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage to the enemy. So nothing too crazy in terms of the effects, just raw flat out damage, just doing Unga Boonga power, which is perfect for Goku. Active skill conditions, this is something I really do love, can be activated after the character evades 5 or more enemy attacks, including supers in the battle, or starting from the 6th turn from the character's entry turn. Now, this active skill condition is very nice, it's very accessible, and also one thing you want to consider, it's the same condition for this final piece of his kit right down here with the extra 159% to his attack, and the attack's effective against all types. So essentially, you know, you're going to get all of his kit unlocked by the time you have his passive skill available. It's a very easy condition to meet for the active. Within his whole kit, he is not limited in terms of having a certain type of ally. You don't need another DAIMA ally, you don't need another Pure Saiyan, another Super Saiyan. It doesn't matter. Goku can just do what he needs to do regardless of the team that you fit him in, and that is beautiful. That is exactly what you want to see from a unit, in my opinion. You know, obviously some units are going to have limitations, but, you know, Goku, I'm glad he doesn't have that. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at Glorio. So Glorio is going to be obviously our counterpart to Goku. I don't know if I would necessarily say he's better, but we'll talk about him in just a moment, of course. With the leader skill, though, this is a crazy leader skill. I would say his leader skill is better than Goku's because demonic power category, Ki plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 200%. That flat out right there is a crazy boost for Glorio to be able to possess. On top of that, 170% for Battle of Wits and Accelerated Battle, which are both pretty powerful categories, of course. Plus an extra 30% for characters in Dragon Ball Seekers, and Demonic Power categories characters excluded. So we see a bit of a similarity and a bit of difference compared to Goku, right? Obviously, you know, we see the 170% plus the 30%. We see a mixing of Accelerated Battle and Dragon Ball Seekers, you know, between the two characters. What makes them different, though, is Glorio is like Master Roshi, where Master Roshi, he does have a 200% leader for Peppy Gals, right, for Master Roshi. For Glorio, it's 200% leader for Demonic Power. The difference, though, is Master Roshi is not on Peppy Gals, while Glorio is on Demonic Power. So that is a bit of a difference right there. Also, 200% for Demonic Power is crazy because we just saw the category. It has so many powerful choices. Having a 200% leader for that whole category means there could be some really crazy work at hand. But even, you know, Battle of Wits, Accelerated Battle, this is a really great leader skill. I would probably say Glorio's leader skill is better compared to Goku's in my personal opinion, but I mean, still, you know, the leader skills are only part of the battle. There's still more to talk about. So we keep going. We see Glorio's super attack effect. So greatly raises attack and defense for one turn, causes immense damage to the enemy, and lowers attack and defense, which is kind of nice right there. Also attack plus 9% and defense plus 6% in battle. So this is kind of like the interesting thing right here. Is, unless I'm mistaken, this can be a stacking effect, and if that is the case, you know, Glorio, he is capable of a great deal of power because, you know, again, 12 key super, he's going to be doing additional supers, assuming he does do additional supers. They will be this right here, so that means he may have more and more opportunities to stack both his attack and defense, so he will be doing some pretty nice work in my opinion. I do have some issues with him. For one, you know, the debuffing is nice, but it's not applicable to every single fight in the game, so that means there are fights where this part of his super attack effect will be basically non-existent, and it's okay, but I mean, I wish it was not like that. I wish there was more opportunity for that in that sort of sense. Also, the greatly raising attack and defense for one turn, that's nice, but compared to Goku, right, for 3 turns with him, this is much worse. He's not supporting the other allies in terms of his super attack effect, so there is a bit of criticism, I guess, to be had with Glorio's super attack effect, but, you know, assuming that this is a stacking effect, which I think it is, but if it's not, then this will be a bit worse. But if it is a stacking effect for this right down here, then Glorio can be very capable of some really great stuff. Alright, let's keep going. So we'll look at the passive. So passive skill, we see right there, activates the intro animation upon the character's entry once only and launches an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super for one turn from the character's entry turn. So It's okay. It's actually, I would say, a worse intro effect compared to Goku's, because Goku has the damage reduction and the dodge chance. But still, having the ability to do another super, that's going to be really awesome within the turn, doing more damage, maybe debuffing. And also, again, we saw that boost to the attack and defense percent in battle. So that can all be very helpful right there. Ki +3 and attack and defense +200%, just like Super Saiyan Goku, so that's perfectly fine. That's, equals in that sort of regard. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super, high chance of evading an enemy's attack, so that's a 50% chance to dodge. Launches another additional attack that has a great chance to become a super as the second or third slot unit in a turn. All allies will gain Ki +1 and attack and defense +50% for 3 turns as the third slot unit in a turn, plus an additional attack and defense +150% when attacking, plus an additional 50% to stats within the same turn with each attack performed, plus an additional 30% to attack, and chance of evading an enemy's attack increases by 10% up to 30% within the same turn with each super attack performed, specifically a super attack. Launches an additional guaranteed super every time the character performs a super attack 3 or more times in battle, up to once within a turn. Wow, that is a mouthful because there's just so many percentages and additionals and everything, but yeah, I mean, I said Goku's kit kind of feeds back into what Goku needs to do and how he's built and designed and everything. The same can be said for Glorio, where he's a physical type unit with a hidden potential system. He gets free to play he gets free to play additional attacks built into his hidden potential system. Beyond that, he's getting a bunch of opportunities to do additional attacks with the ability for them to become supers. So that, of course, in turn will make him much more powerful. We see, of course, that general stat boost right there, but also the additional attack right here. So that's going to be one opportunity for an additional super. So that's 2 supers he could get, right? One from the additional or the regular super plus the additional right here, plus the third, I guess, for the intro for that one turn. He gets another chance right here as a second and third slot units, so that's 4, I guess, 3 to 4 supers, right? And we keep going. Let's see if I can find any more. I think right down here is the only other part in his kit where it gives him like another opportunity to do a super, right? So that's like 4 to 5, and then you include the hidden potential, right? So that's 5 to 6 if my math is right. I probably miscounted there, but still, around 5 super attacks, potentially 4 to 6 super attacks. That is crazy for Glorio because, again, that feeds back into what he wants. Obviously, you see right here, being able to boost his stats within the same turn with each attack he performs, plus, further boosting his attack and also increasing his chance to dodge up to a certain limit within the same turn with each super he performs. He can do a lot of crazy work. So, Glorio, he has a lot of nice stuff. The one thing I also have to, really kind of praise Glorio about in terms of his kit is right here, this third slot ability to provide support for allies for 3 turns, which is really awesome because Glorio, once you put him on the third slot, then he's gone for 2 turns, then he shows up on the third turn. So his ability to provide support can be really helpful. I think it's similar to the Super Saiyan Trio, right? The physical Super Saiyan Trio from the Worldwide Celebration campaign, where if you have double Glorio lead, basically you can put both of them in the third slot, then they'll be kind of rotating around each other, and that will provide more support throughout the entirety of a fight. So that can be a very powerful kind of situation that may mean you want to have Glorio for the leader as opposed to Super Saiyan Goku, but this is still a great passive. Both characters are very powerful for sure. I just think the Goku's a bit stronger individually, but Glorio, no, I think he works better within a team sort of standpoint, especially in terms of what he could do with his support and his leader skill and all that sort of stuff. Also, though, we still have the active skill, so this is also important, right? Greatly raises attack temporarily, so this is a bit weaker, I believe, compared to Goku, who is a massively raising attack type of player. Also causes ultimate damage to the enemy, and disables enemy action once within the turn. Can be activated after performing 3 or more supers in battle once only. So this is available basically by turn 2, assuming that, you get lucky with the supers and everything. This is a turn, or not turn 2, but like turn 3, basically. Like if Glorio shows up turn 1, he can get this by turn 3, basically is what I mean to say. So this is a very powerful active skill condition, very easy to access. It feeds into what he wants in his kit, so that's even better. And obviously, again, just like Goku, there's no limitations to Glorio in terms of what type of units you need to bring alongside him, which is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. And also, one thing I must kind of sing the praises of for Glorio's active skill, which Goku does not have, is the whole disabling enemy action. That actually, to me, is very, very valuable. Maybe more so than the massively damaged kind of output that Goku can do. But of course, regardless, both active skills are very powerful, both characters are very powerful, and this is a beautiful thing to see, of course. I think that's the only thing they talk about when it comes to the characters, so let me go ahead, we'll kind of double back onto those characters just to kind of cover some final bases. So obviously with Super Saiyan Goku, we're looking at him right here. We have his super attack effect right there, so that's just kind of looking at that. We see the link skills. His link set rather, is incredibly powerful. Golden Warrior, Saiyan Warrior Race, all of this stuff is beautiful, and it works really well with other Super Saiyan Gokus and whatnot, so he's going to be a fantastic character to play with in terms of teams. When we see the categories for Goku, Transformation Boost, Dragon Ball Seekers, Pure Saiyans, Accelerated Battle, which all 4 of these are in his leader skill. Time Travelers, which is an interesting one, but I really do appreciate that. Goku's Family, Super Saiyans, Turtle School, Bond of Parent and Child, Earthbred Fighters, Kamehameha, Super Saiyan 2, and Power Beyond Super Saiyan. So, obviously, you know, this is a really nice set of categories for Goku to be in. Not the most that we've seen in a character. I mean, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, but having Super Saiyan 2 there, that's really nice, of course. Having Turtle School, Time Travelers, again, one that really surprises me right here, but Time Travelers, you know, all of this is really awesome for Goku to be on. Compared to Glorio, Goku is far better in that sort of regard, because when we look at Glorio, his categories are abysmal, and also his link set is a bit worse in comparison, but especially the categories, Demonic Power, he's on that, so that's really nice. Battle of Wits, Accelerated Battle, Dragon Ball Seekers. The only one of these categories that is not found in his leader skill is Heavenly Events, and that's because I guess he showed up on the freaking, like the, what you call the lookout, but, I mean, I still don't think that's good enough for that to be on Heavenly Events, and if that's the case, I mean, I don't know why. I'm not, I mean, I guess because the intro had him show up there, I guess that's why they have the category, which I'm not mad at. I mean, more categories the better, but 5 categories is really pathetic in comparison to Goku. And I mean, I wish Gloria was on a couple more categories, maybe. I just wish he had something, but it is what it is. We'll just have to accept it. Regardless, I mean, both characters are incredibly powerful. Goku and Gloria are both beautiful characters. We'll have to see how their banners look, but these two are definitely built different. They may be the best 2 T-Wars in the game, and even if they're not, they're definitely close for that spot. So, I mean, they're fantastic characters. Beyond that, we have some other kind of UI updates. So, obviously, one of the UI updates here, which is funny because we have MUI here for the example, is they are improving the character's detail page. So the way they described it basically is they're trying to make it much more easier to comprehend how the passive skill works, especially because, as we all know, passive skills these days are like freaking essays. You could take a passive skill and submit it to your English teacher, and they would actually probably grade it for a legitimate essay, because that's how long these things can get. And obviously, you know, with MUI, we know MUI's kit after the EZA has a bunch of stuff, you know, passive stat boost, passive dodge chancing abilities, boosting his ki, getting guaranteed dodging for that first turn he shows up, boosting his attack, critical hits, all the stuff, revivals. So this is kind of showing the same passive skill, just broken down into various kind of conditions to make it easier to comprehend and to understand. So you see right here, basic effects. So these are flat out kind of boosts to his kit that basically doesn't matter regardless in terms of when they happen or how they happen. They will happen regardless. So basic effects right there. For the first turn from the character's entry, so this is like the intro stuff, if you will. Ki +7 dodges the enemy attack guaranteed, which we already knew. For every attack evaded condition, then you get these kind of boosts right here when activating the active. So basically they're breaking down the passive again to make it much easier to follow along, which is something I really do kind of like, especially because, you know, for new players especially, it can be very overwhelming to understand what a character can or cannot do, how to use a character in the best kind of positions possible, how to make a team work. So these things I think are going to be very helpful, especially for new players and even for some older players who have been playing the game for a while but still get a bit confused in terms of when a unit should be used at what position. So that is something I really do kind of appreciate with them. I mean, if we keep going, there are some other stuff they do mention. This is something right here. So they mentioned they are trying to update the visuals for Dokkan because it's almost at like the 10th year anniversary. It's such an old game, and they haven't really touched much of the animation. So some of like the screen animation stuff are kind of old and dated. So they are kind of updating that. We'll go ahead and check this out, I guess, right now.
So we decided to update it to this time.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, they're trying to update it. I think they're going to do more updates in the future, but we see right here some of the animations, how they differ. So you see right there, the versus screen is a bit different. Obviously, how they kind of approach everything, which is actually kind of nice. It's more sleek. I really do kind of like that. Maybe a bit modern, I guess, but I don't really know if that's the right way to describe it. We see the switching. So you see right there, some more animations for the switching. Goku becoming Super Saiyan. That's actually really sick. I'm hoping to see more and more of that, but that's really fire, of course. It's the simple stuff, really, is what they're doing. Obviously, with the normal attacks, you see a lot more, and Ken, I think, describes it specifically, but this is meant to make it more feel like Dragon Ball-esque in terms of the fighting styles and everything. Vegeta using Vegeta's technique before it was even trademarked, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they really do a good job of making these look a lot better, a lot more, like I said, Dragon Ball, and I think that's what they want to do. I think it's a good decision. We're seeing a lot of this, yeah. The classic vanishing right there. With the super attack effect, so this is just to show the KO screen and everything, the damage. You see it's a bit different in terms of the font. The KO is different, so yeah, that's all some really nice stuff, of course. But yeah, I mean, this is not really a major important thing that we have to worry about. It's just kind of acknowledging the fact that yes, the game is old, some of the assets are old, so they're going to be updating it to make it look a lot sexier for the new players who come into the game, which is something we love to see. I saw some people joking about this becoming Dokkan 2 or something, which, I mean, if we get Dokkan 2, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna be mad or anything, but I don't think this is necessarily Dokkan 2. I just think that this is a sign, just like with Super Easy A's that we saw earlier this year, the Dokkan, unless they want to end the game themselves, this game will never die. Dragon Ball is such a beautiful IP. It's got so many wonderful fans, just like you guys who all watch this video. You guys are beautiful fans for Dokkan as well. And I mean, that sounded a bit weird, but I mean, this game, it just can't die as long as the players want to keep playing it, which it seems to be the case, and as long as the development team wants to keep doing it, then this game could probably live on forever. That's what it feels like. They also show some of the cards that they're doing with like the trading card game, so obviously we see some of the arts right there. Tech UI, of course, in his beautiful glory, Super Saiyan 4 Tanabata Goku, all those guys. So that's not something I really hold big relevancy towards because I don't do the trading card game. But there's that. There's the battle hour right there. So that's something to look forward to. Obviously, I'll leave that on the screen for just a second as we kind of talk about it. But yeah, I don't really keep track of the battle hour too much myself. I probably should. But yeah, we're going to look forward to that in the next year as we go into 2025. It's kind of surprising that we're actually almost at the end of the year. But yeah, that's some special stuff. And obviously, you know, that's pretty much what they have to say for the producer letter. So not too much crazy stuff, I guess. Yeah, there was some stuff about some new animations, you know, the updating to the UIs and everything for character details. That is a massive plus. Obviously, they mentioned it, which we didn't really kind of listen to them talk about in this video, but they mentioned they're going to keep on pushing these types of updates with character details and other animation updates going into the 10th anniversary, so we'll have to see what they have in mind. But I mean, this is all a step in the right direction for me in terms of updating Dokkan to be a bit better. So as far as I'm concerned, keep cooking Amatsu, keep cooking Ken, keep cooking developers, because this is a fantastic way to end off 2024 with the beautiful releases of DAIMA, specifically Super Saiyan Goku and Glory right there, if I can find the image. Perfect. Those two beautiful beasts right there. This is the perfect way to end off 2024 in my opinion, and I'm hoping it's a great way for you guys to end off the year as well in terms of playing Dokkan. In any case, that is where we're going to have to end the vid. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like down below and also consider subscribing to the channel and comment down below, are you guys excited for these two characters? Are you going to consider summoning for them knowing that the 10th anniversary is just around the corner? And once again, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays for you and your families and the people you care about, and I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your lives during this holiday period, as I'm sure you guys are trying to enjoy things with your families. So I thank you all for allowing me to be a part of this whole kind of experience with you guys. But yeah, that's all I have to say right there. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.